Hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? I hope you're doing well. On this Wednesday, hump day. Hump day. Here, we got to make sure Boba Fett's. There we go. We got to make sure Boba Fett's in frame. Anybody watch Boba Fett? That's a pretty good show. It grew on me. At first, I didn't like it, but then I watched it some more. And the last couple episodes were great. And then the ones with the Mandalorian were great. Oi, Chic. Hi. I think those are I's and not L's. Scott Baylor, rock and roll. Let's go. Let's go, Scott. John Shepler says, remember, as we enter the live stream, to hit the like. Thumbs up button. Thanks. Thank you, John. How are you doing today, John? I hope you're doing well. Vet Tech Audio says, hola. Robert McCain. What's up, Randy? What's up, Steven? Stevens, ahoy. Nothing fancy hi-fi. Hey, Randy. Hey, nothing fancy. I like your name. Nothing fancy. Got a whole bunch of those. I still, to this day, do not know how to do these little emoji things. They make me uncomfortable. You know who doesn't make me uncomfortable, though, is Wes Fletcher. Wes is one of my patrons. Great guy. Very smart. Like Wes. Wes likes headphones and IEMs. Rob Hawk. The mushroom. It'd be the man. You be the man, Rob. You're the man. You're the man. Kristen Ray. Double thumbs up. Thank you. If you do two thumbs up, I think it's no thumbs up. But that's okay. Jim here. Rocktopus Fingers. Glad to make it at the start of one of your live streams. It's going to be real basic. And say anything Pink Floyd from before the 90s for favorites. There you go. That is the theme of today's little live stream, is kind of your favorite record, whatever it is. Maybe something lesser known. If you want to share some music that you feel is not mainstream or not well known, but you think it's great, pop it in the comments. And then, yeah. Here's another one of my favorite people. Coming at you. Chris Studebaker, tech support question, DX3 Plus. Is it suspicious that the Weem not recognized until it is plugged in and have to unplug power out and in before sound comes out? Chris, I don't know. I mean, if you have the optical outgoing and then like if the Weem's not hooked up to anything, but you can go into the app and still stream from it, like press play and then you look and the red light's coming out. And then you plug that in and you're still having issues, then yeah. I mean, but if you got the sound to come out, that's the most important thing, right? Because I have a little living room listening area and I stream from a Weem and then I have my little headphone DAC amp stack or whatever I'm listening to. And it always seems, because I always unplug it, and it always seems like it's not smooth initially until I fiddle with it a little bit. And then it becomes smooth. Here, I got to turn this notification off. All right. There we go. Simon Hawkshaw, another one of my favorite people. He's a patron as well. Jethro Tull, Aqualung. Did you know? I got a story about that. Steve Zeidman got into the hobby because of that song when he heard it on a really good system. Steve Zeidman said, it made me jump off the couch because it was so amazing to him. That's what started his journey into the hi-fi insanity. I'm going to take a drink out of Rocktopus. It's just water today. No water. It's actually brown water because I still don't clean the coffee mug all that well. Yeah. It's patina. It's got coffee patina in here. Oh boy, here we go. Let me see. I hope I didn't miss any super chats. No, I don't think so. All right, I saw something in here really good. Really, really good. Here, we'll go here. Dark Side of the Moon. Of course, everybody loves that record. Great record. Iconic. Hey, there's Gina. Bravo Zulu, brother. I was just hanging out with a couple Navy vets. One pilot, one corpsman. Let's go. Where we go? Rob Hawk, Eve of Destruction. Very good. I missed it. Someone had Slayer in here. I don't know where. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. Paul's Boutique. Little Beastie Boys action. Crazy Mike's Steve Doring. Crazy Mike Steve Doring in Hi-Fi. I like that. Or do you guys have channels, or is this oh, speaking of which, remind me, I need to share a couple of channels today that y'all should be subscribed to. Do you have a store, or is it like a channel? Put it in the comments, Mike. Crazy Mike. Oh my goodness. We're flying. We're flying. Here, I'll just click on someone. Stephen Barr. Hello, I just ordered my J2 to slot in between my Weem Mini and Marantz 2238B. Streamer and DAC based off your recommendations. Awesome, Stephen. That sounds like an awesome setup. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on that. Sorry, the dog's barking because I live in a house with dogs. And the UPS and FedEx guys are always coming. Sorry. Really apologize for this here. Sorry. Did you hear all that? Jane's Addictions, nothing shocking. Oh man, I remember that record. I listened to that so much in, I think, high school and college. I listened to that thing nonstop. So really like that record. Is that the one with the two ladies on the front with their hair on fire? Yeah. I think that's it, right? I think that's it. I had a bunch of Jane's Addiction. I was an early adopter of Jane's Addiction. Perry Farrell. Okay. All right. So let's go right here. And then I'm going to share out some channels. Just started my vinyl collection, but managed to pre-order a copy of Holy Fawn's upcoming album, Dimensional Bleed, which I'm very excited about. Very good, MLC 97. I am not familiar with them. Lamb of God. Ooh, look at this picture. It's an alien. It's a xenomorph. Love that. Okay, we got some super chats. Dire Straits on Every Street is fantastic on a good system. I was listening to Sultans of Swing on my way back home today by Dire Straits. Oh my goodness, here we go. Another super chat. Greg Wallrath. Do you still love the IEMA T9? Any recommendations for an inexpensive Class D integrated like the T9, but with a Phonto Stage? Great question. So yes, I still do love the T9. I got a little bit, and I shouldn't feel this way, but there was one reviewer that put out a review that kind of talked about some reliability issues or issues with it clicking and then turning off. And I've actually heard that from some patrons as well. I never had that experience. So for whatever reason, I guess like I haven't been listening to it that much, and I shouldn't, because like I shouldn't let other people's opinions or reviews kind of affect my confidence in a product. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But I think it's good. And I think there was some timing issues, and I believe they've been rectified. So yes, to answer your question, yes, I do love the IEMA T9. Any recommendations for an inexpensive Class D bot with the Phonto Stage? So here's the problem. They don't really exist. Now, like Chinese Phonto Stages exist in spades. I have here. Let me see if you can see it. All right, I'll turn that on. It should turn on. Yeah, there we go. You can't see it. Here, let me go wider. Wider. Still can't see it. All right. Anyway, I have a Fozzy audio. It is the I don't even know what it is. Just his Phonto Stage. Here, let me I'll share that out. Let me share that. And I'll tell you, because there's a ton of inexpensive Phonto Stages. Unfortunately, there are none, to my knowledge, no Class Ds that integrate a Phonto Stage. And I've actually talked about that on a patron Zoom before, and to other people, that if they as in like Chinese low-cost manufacturers started to integrate Phonto Stages, that they would probably sell a lot of those. Aussie Audio Phonto Stage. Now, to be fair, I think this is probably like a very common design that multiple companies use. Sorry, I'm trying to share my screen. I'm not very good at this. Share screen. Here we go. Share screen. Here we go. Share. There we go. Okay. So I believe this is the one that I have, $62.99. It's 21% off. Here, let me get the link for you here. Copy. I like it. There's some fun. It's fun having the tubes on there. They do make a difference. They are. They're not just window dressing. So yeah, I think it's fun. Look at this thing. I don't know what this thing is. That's pretty cool. Papa A1 vacuum tube phono preamp. That's pretty cool. Let's click on that. I don't think I've ever seen that. How much are you? $140. That's kind of cool, man. It's got bass and treble. I'm sure it's got like gobs of distortion or whatever. But yeah, let's see what else they have. And here's one for $7.99, entry level. So yeah, a bunch of them. I would personally, I know, let's see, who is it? The Bellari. I know Bellari makes a very inexpensive one. Bellari Phono preamp. Man, Papa is really pushing their stuff. That's a preamp tube phono. Oh, that's kind of expensive. Anyway, I know they have a cheap one. All right, got off on a bird walk there. All right, let's go back. I may have missed. Oh, Jim here. $2 super thanks. Super sticker. Thank you. All right. I think we're caught up on the super chats. A lot of stuff coming in. All right. On a great system, even badly recorded albums sound good. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. It depends. Like if they're super revealing, sometimes, you know what? Like a lot of people talk about bad, good recordings and things like that. With something like the Fozzy Audio, there is a little bit of oomph added on the bottom end, and it colors the music a lot. Not a lot. Yeah, it colors the music a lot, and it just makes everything enjoyable. So it depends on what you're after. If you're looking for like supreme clarity and all that stuff, but like even people that say certain records like are recorded horribly, I still love those records, right? I mean, it doesn't particularly matter. Like it still stirs me emotionally. I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, this is a bad recording. I'm just sitting there going, this is really fun. John Shepler dropped link for Duke Audio X1 that does hi-fi stereo. Oh, okay. Bluetooth, vacuum tube, preamp, moving magnet, phono. There you go. There you go. Is that the one that I reviewed? Here's the problem though. Like I know the T9 is like legit good. I think that one was pretty good, but they don't do it very often. Like a lot of people are including DACs in their amps, but not Phonto Stages. But that's a great one, John. Thank you. Danny, hey Randy, any words about best Soundstage bookshelf speakers? Yes, I do. Fortunately, they're not available anymore. Those were the ELAC debut B6, the first generation Andrew Jones 6.5-inch speaker. They were crazy. These are Soundstage. They threw stuff everywhere. The B6.2s were not that way. The B6 were just a lovely speaker. I can't say enough about them. You may take a look at the ELAC BS41, and that is the 4-inch version. It doesn't quite have the magic of the first generation Andrew Jones, but it is very good. BS41. If you're so inclined, Neil, one of my other patrons, has a crossover mod for it, which is fairly straightforward. I think it's only one part. Copy. Here, let's put that in there. These do Soundstage very well. And they're affordable. And they sound really, really nice. Ton of bass. Here, let me share my screen again. Now, let's go here. There we go. That's different. Yeah, BS41. Pretty good. Now, it also depends on your budget too, because there's a lot of speakers that can Soundstage good, but they come, at somewhat of a premium, or they can come at somewhat of a premium. But if you're looking at like affordable stuff, I think the ELACs are great. Yeah. How's the Techton review coming? So I don't know if I should take offense to the yeah. Techton review is not coming anytime soon because I had to change out. I'm going to have to change out some drivers. And it was nothing to do with Techton. So don't blame Techton. The drivers that they bought, there was some issues with a whole set of the drivers to where one of the magnets came off. So I'm switching them out with speakers or drivers that are legit good. So yeah. But yeah, I've got but in front of the Tectons, I have the KLH Model 5s coming. So that review is coming. And then I'm trying to think if I think I'm caught up. So it'll be after the KLH Model 5. P94, no offense intended. Thank you. Who is that? Is that an actor that's eating the YouTube thing? I like that. I am quite impressed with my ELAC Unifi original for the Soundstage and image. Yes, very good. Very, very, very good speaker. The 2.0 is also very, 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 very good for Soundstage and imaging as well. And that, I think those are going for hopefully 500 still. They used to be like 700, and now they just kind of have a perpetual street price of $500. Hopefully I didn't prove myself wrong. 550. Okay, so that's not terrible. Not terrible. There we go. 550. Right there. You know what one of my patrons did is he took 2 center channels and then turned them vertical. But there was a deal going on, and then that deal's not going on anymore. So the regular speakers is probably the better deal right now. But at one time, you could get 2 centers for about $600, and that was a good deal. All right, here we go. Crosby, Stills, and Nash during lunch. Rival Sons during dinner. And Metallica at midnight. Love it. Love it. All right. Let's see. Did I miss anything? There we go. Chuck Frankenstein. Any plans to review Zoo audio speakers? I'd love to. One of my other patrons, a friend of mine, Ryan, has a pair of the Dirty Weekends. However, they're not widely available. They kind of run runs of them. So, and I think those often sell out. And I think there's been a pretty significant price increase on the Zoo Dirty Weekends. I've heard them in person in Chicago. Very full on the bottom end. It's not going to be a speaker for people that are like, they want traditional, perfect frequency response. They have a lot of personality, and they're very nice. But I wish they had a bit more detail for me personally. Here we go. Notorious. Would you think the SMSL 8018 and the Oberon 3 would be a good pair together? I really like the sound of the Dolly Oberon 3, but I am not sure if the correct what is the correct amp to pair with it. So I've never heard the Oberon 3s. I did have the Oberon. It was a powered Oberon kind of streaming solution, very expensive, and it never saw the day. It never saw the light of day as far as a review. I ended up sending it back. Wasn't because the speakers sounded bad. They actually sounded fantastic, but it was because of the functionality of the streamer. But that really is meaningless because I've never heard the Oberons. And I would maybe steer clear of the 8018. If the Oberons sound anything like the Spectres, it's very nice, even-keeled, slightly warm-ish speaker. I think there's better options than the 8018 out there now. The 8018 is kind of, I don't particularly recommend that anymore. I just think there's better integrated kind of DAC amps out there. IEMA DO3. You can even start going like little separates with IEMA AO7, IEMA T8, or you could get something like kind of go up a little bit for the DAC and get like an E50 from topping. And then you could get IEMA AO7, and then you'd have volume control and things like that remotely. But 8018 just doesn't do it for me anymore. It's got wonky connections on the back too. Just doesn't do it for me anymore. And the Infineon 12070, that implementation of how, now to be fair, SMSL has done great implementations of the Infineon 12070 chip. The DA9 is one specifically. That's balanced. I think it's $250 just for the amp though. But you have to put some EQ in it. So they have some pre-baked in EQs, and SDB is one of them. And it really is a great sounding amplifier. So SMSL can do Infineons really well. The 8018 though is getting pretty long in the tooth, and there's better options out there even from SMSL. So yeah, I think we beat that dead horse. All right. Angel Gonzalez, amp recommendation for around 1,000 for a pair of B&W 606 S2s, ASW 608 sub. Looking to upgrade from my current Sonos amp. So, to be fair, I have zero experience with the B&W. I do anecdotally have heard other people's experience with the B&Ws, and they're I think have a lot of activity going on top. So for an amp, a recommendation around 1,000. I don't know if you're talking about integrated or pure power amp. For a pure power amp, you got lots of options. I would look at Emotiva because it's not that it's rolled off or super warm, but it does have a lot of bass presence. For an integrated amp around $1,000, Nothing comes to mind because I haven't really heard a ton of integrated amps around 1,000. I mean, you can look at like Marantz, kind of like an upper end Marantz 2-channel. I think that would probably sound good. I mean, the amp that jumps to mind is cheap, and that's the AXA 35. I don't know what the sensitivity of the B&W 602 is though, because that's 35 watts. Bowers and Wilkins 606. Sorry, no, this is boing. Oh, I was looking at Amazon. Here, let me copy that. And I'll paste it up here. Paste and search. Bowers and Wilkins 606. Sorry, here, let me share my screen. At least that'll be a little bit more. Okay. So $9.99 a pair. All right. I'll go over here. Click on these. And then we'll go. I keep trying to control it. All right. Let's see what the sensitivity is. 88 dB. Okay. You would probably get away with 35 watts, but I mean, if you're getting $1,000 pair of speakers, I would think you want a little bit more juice on them. You could also look at doing separates, and then you could do like the PT2 from Emotiva, and then one of the Emotiva amps, like the A2, and that's going to be around $1,000, and you're going to have a ton of functionality. Or you could get something like the Saga, and then pair it up with a pair of the Emotiva A1 monoblocks, and you're going to have gobs of power, clean power. I would look for something. I probably wouldn't look at what is it, Rotel A11 or A12. I would skip those. They're just going to be too thick, or excuse me, too thin. And then it's not a thin. It's not probably going to pair well with that speaker. You can also look at some of the Yamaha offerings, but you're going to really want to turn on that loudness control, because that's another very clean. What I'm trying to say is you probably want something to offset the excitement on top and fill things out a little bit. So yeah. All right. Nothing fancy. Thoughts of the CS43189 DAC chip that's on the Topping D30 Pro. Just picked one up used for $160. Is that a Cirrus Logic chip? I don't know that. If I've heard that chip, I don't remember it. So yeah, I'll say this though. I think Topping's doing a better job with all the DAC implementations than SMSL. I was really disappointed with the D6. Extraordinarily disappointed with the SMSL D6. But I just looked at my stack. I guess this is a speaker amp. This is the DA6. So this is the kind of the speaker amp that goes with it. So it's not a DAC. Yeah. Topping, I think, is doing, I think they have I think they came out with a new kind of affordable. Maybe the D30 is the one. Anyway, I haven't heard it, unfortunately. But I would love to. Simon Hawkshaw, $10. Thank you, Simon. All right. Man, we're really getting into the weeds here. Hey, fellow bubblehead. What up, Subcook 32? Were you a cook? I had a buddy who was a cook on the boat, and we were workout buddies, so we'd go and we'd work out. And he used to make me kind of whatever I wanted. So, and whatever I wanted at the time was like an egg white omelet every morning. So he'd always make me one real quick. Turns out that after he left the boat and went on different duty, he was one of Dick Cheney's cooks. How's that for duty, right? So he left the sub, and then his next duty station was being one of Dick Cheney's cooks. And apparently, like, Dick Cheney got 12 cooks, and then they would rotate. So someone was always like, he had a bunch of cooks always traveling with him. So if Dick Cheney said, hey, I want a club sandwich at like 3 a.m., they'd make him a club sandwich or chicken and waffles, whatever it was. Emma_C_, $10. Thank you. Thank you very much. Here we go. Can a single-ended, there's that. Jeff, I just love it. Love that picture. I want to get one of the little action figures of them. I have too many action figures, though. But that's like one. I don't have any Xenomorph action figures. I need one. Can a single-ended 2.5 to 4.4 wire be balanced? Well, so a 2.5 millimeter connection is a balanced connection. So if you look at the barrel of it, it's got, here's a 4.4 connection. And so you'll see you've got 2 grounds, 2 signals. Or is it 1 ground, 2 signals? Anyway, this is a balanced cable. Okay, 2.5 looks exactly like this, only smaller. So can a single-ended 2.5 to 4.4 wire be balanced? If you're asking like these, if that can be balanced, these are what go in the ear cups. So this is only like a left channel and then right channel, and then this would be left and right. If that's the question, then absolutely. Yes, for sure. For sure. You just need a balanced pentagon amplifier. So, yeah. I hope I'm understanding your question correctly. Fatima Hoang, $5. Thank you. How much do I need to spend on a DAC to hear real difference over my Chromecast audio puck? I'm looking at the Aries 2, but hope to spend less. I would imagine, now I don't have any experience with the Chromecast audio puck, but from my understanding of that, I think it was like a $35 retail price. So if it had an analog output connection, I would imagine that the DAC is probably not great. If you're looking at Aries, that would be a big step up. You don't have to go that far up, though, to probably hear that big of a difference. You get something like the Gishelli Labs, and I'm assuming that's an optical out. The J2 without a USB is $250. One of like this. This is a hard DAC to beat, really, at any price. I mean, now I don't play in like $2,000 DACs. But the J2 is phenomenal, and they actually have an AKM version now. I haven't heard the AKM version. I've heard 2 of their Saber versions, and I love them. That's like my de facto recommendation for a DAC under $1,000, under $500, really. And then the Aries 2 is great. It's fantastic. Neither one of those DACs, though, has volume control. So if you need a volume control, you're going to have to look at something like the Topping E50, which I think that is also an outstanding DAC. And then you could look at something like the SMSL. I think that's the SU9N or something like that. But if you don't need volume control, man, I don't think you're going to go wrong with the Gishelli. It's going to seem like you got to get to know it a little bit better, but when you do, it's just so addicting because it's very analog sound, very dynamic, huge soundstage. I can't say enough about the J2. It's really, really an extraordinary product at the price, at any price, really. Period. No need volume. I'm running separates. Check them out then. You can get this in. I actually had the wood here, but I moved it back into the living room. Get this in a wood case. You don't have to get these colors too. I just wanted something that was kind of a little bit ridiculous. Aluminum case, you can choose a bunch of colors, and then you can get them in a wood case too. So yeah, that'd probably be my recommendation. I don't think you can go wrong with it. It's got balanced outputs or single-ended outputs too. Allo Boss 2 player. Any chance of reviewing this? I don't have it in house. I think Darko's reviewed it, John Darko, and I think he maybe liked it. But I've heard good things about the Allo company. So yeah, I don't have it though, and I haven't talked to him. I don't have any plans of bringing things in. Like if I did it today, if we talked today, it'd probably still be 30 days at least, if not 60, before I'd probably actually review it and spend enough time with it. So yeah. What are used Aries 2 getting in the used market? Looking to upgrade to a Pontus. Not too far off of retail, really. The ones that I've heard that have gone up. Now, this was when they were selling for $750. I think they're up to about $850 US right now. And I think people were selling them for maybe 10 to 15% under retail price. So number one, those rarely go up on the used market. And number two, when they do, it's not a significant discount. It's not something like, like a Chinese DAC would kind of get like 50% off or something. This Rocktopus mug is available in my merchandise store, which is right underneath. It should be right underneath the video if you like it. On one side, it says Rocktopus. On the other side, it says binge listen and fill your soul with happiness. Little segue there. Steve Zeidman says J2 is terrific. What is the weight of a laden? I love that. We actually made that joke on the Sunday Night Zoom. Yeah. Monty Python. What is my favorite color? I like black. My wife hates it because I have just a whole bunch of black shirts. I like black watches. I have a black car. Black. I just like black. Yeah. Spam can. I can't tell the difference in the DACs so far. The Lockg 830 and ES100 Bluetooth thing. Heck, even LDAC sounds the same as a wired connection. Maybe because I'm still new. Well, I would think like if I would try listening to a song through LDAC and then try to listen to a song through like a computer or something that's going into the same DAC. I think most lay people will be able to hear pretty significant difference. Like I'm not trying to be a snob anymore, but I can't listen to AAC, which is Apple's Bluetooth. I cannot Bluetooth this into anything and listen to it anymore because it just sounds so cut off. Like it seems like all the bottom's missing and then some of the top's missing, and then AirPlay is better, but it's not nearly as good as like a streamer. Do you have any larger Rocktopus mugs available? Last time I looked, I think it was the 16. Yeah, it's just this one. I'm thinking about bringing some merchandise. Actually, here's something exciting. Exciting news. My first real product is in the works right now. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's pretty cool. And I'm thinking about bringing doing merchandise, because right now this is pretty much just kind of done on demand through a partner with YouTube called Teespring. But I'm thinking about doing some really good mugs, some really good t-shirts and stuff, and then kind of taking over part of the merchandise. But short answer to your question is no. I could see what they have. They may have, I know they have tumblers, like big tumblers, but if you want a traditional coffee mug that's more than 16 ounces, they may have something. And it's really easy. I just would put the logo on that one. Hey, look at this one. Simeon Perron, I have 2 Aries 2 for sale. Didn't notice a big difference between that and the DAC on the Node. Wish I knew they didn't have a return policy. My bad. You have 2 Aries 2 for sale. I'm surprised you didn't hear a big difference. I mean, I've got almost 10 people probably in my regular patron Zooms that all own them. I have them, and they've all talked about a hugely significant difference, especially in Soundstage. Over, and I'm sure the Node DAC is probably pretty good, but yeah. Well, Simeon, I don't think you're a patron, but like on my Discord and my patron Facebook group, and then they sell stuff. Any updated list? Oh, tier lists coming. You know, I haven't thought about one. There's a couple, like I need to do, I think like a Chinese DAC amp tier list. Actually, I'm going to write that down. My wife got me a new planner. It was very nice of her. Let's see. Action. Okay, this is a little bit. I just want to write down a note. All right. I'll just write it down here. I don't want to ruin it, though. Notes index. Exciting stuff, isn't it? It's great. I bet you're glad you tuned into the Cheap Audio, man. I'll write it on a piece of duct tape or masking tape. Here we go. Ready? We'll do this. All right. So left to right. Tier list. Chinese DAC amp. All right. Probably include some other stuff as well. Take that. I'm going to stick it right here so that I can remember it. There we go. Ink was a little wet. How's that? How's that for service? Tier list, Chinese. I didn't do a very good job. It looks like Chili's. Tier list, Chili's DAC amp. Yep. Good. She bought you a planner full of blank paper. No, it's not blank. It's like there's individual days, and then you write individual goals, like most important task, secondary task, action tasks and reminders, and then notes and ideas over here on the right. I haven't started it yet. Otherwise, I would have started written it in today's date, but I haven't. She just gave it to me. Very nice. I like that. It's really funny because I do have notes on the computer and my phone and stuff, but like everything in the digital domain now has like lost any type of, what am I trying to say? Like emails aren't important anymore. Like even text messages, notes, reminders, you know, it's just because it's bing, bing, bing. It's constant digital. Like, so I thought it would be better for me to get something to write on. It seems like we've gone kind of 180 degrees from where a digital reminder on your phone would have weight. And now it doesn't have any weight for me because I get a lot of emails, a lot of text messages. I have a lot of reminders in the calendar and stuff like that. And for the very act of writing things down helps me remember it. The Cheap Audio Man reviews office supplies from the 90s. Now, this is a brand new product. It's a finisher's journal. Yeah. Brand new product. This is making a comeback, just like analog making a comeback. Unfortunately, the soul has no weight. Some people would argue that. There's like a movie called like something grams, 27 grams or something like that. And the theory is when somebody dies, they lose a certain amount of weight, like immediately. And some people think that's the weight of the soul. Abstract acoustics, writing equals retention. The Written word has weight. Very good. I like that. Let's pivot to movies. I watched Quantum of Solace last night. Really good flick, man. All the Daniel Craig Bond movies can be, I think, streamed from like either Netflix or Amazon Prime. Fun, man. Those are fun. I rewatched Quantum of Solace last night, and that was a blast. I'm so like set. Like at first, when Daniel Craig became James Bond, I wasn't super into him. And then, like as he made more movies, like it felt real. It felt like for the first time, like James Bond was a real dude, and he's constantly getting beat up. He's always disheveled. It was very good. Casino Royale, I watched that. I was going to watch Casino Royale, but I have seen that one recently. No Time to Die is really incredible. I love that. So what I'm doing this week is I recently watched No Time to Die. The reason why I watched it is because at the shit show with Emotiva, one of their movie clips they were running was from No Time to Die. So I'm like, ooh, I haven't seen that. So I watched that. And then I'm like, ooh, I'm going to kind of redo all the Daniel Craig movies. So yeah, love him as Bond. And I'm sad that he's not going to be Bond anymore. Skyfall was the best, I think. Very good. Could it be the weightlessness indicates some are soulless? Probably. I just watched Moon Knight. Odd movie, but good. I thought that was a Disney series. I watched that too. If I'm thinking about the same one, is that the one where he's like an Egyptian superhero? Yeah. I watched the whole thing. It wasn't my favorite, but I did watch it. I mean, it was entertaining. David Galvin, $10. Thank you. Amp to feed CSS1 TDX. Pioneer Elite VSX LX305. Topping LA90. Ooh. I only want 2.1 channel that is fed by a Blue Sun node. Okay. Gonna be a hot take on this one. Because I love the VSX LX305. But if you're not using any of the home theater functionality and you don't need DRAC because your room has issues, I would recommend the LA90. I think that speaker is 87 dB sensitive. So LA90 is right here. Right here. Just amazing gobs of detail. And if you have a DAC with an XLR out and you're only into digital, it's really tough. It's tough to pick this thing apart outside of its connections. It's just fantastic sounding. It's really, 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 really remarkable. John, yes, Disney series and yes, Egyptian. Yeah, I watched it. It was entertaining. I watched every episode. Little bit weird to your point. I'll put it to you this way. I probably won't rewatch that show. If there's a season 2, I'll probably watch it. But it's not going to be like super high on my priority. Right now, I'm working back through the Bond movies. And I haven't, like, I loved Kenobi. I know I think September, the new, it's the Star Wars Andor. I think that's what it's called. It's the guy that was from Rogue One. And that one looks amazing. That really, like, if you've seen the trailer, that really looks amazing. Andor, I think that's what it is. So what was I had something to say and then I missed it. For whatever reason, I'm like kind of back into spy movies. Like, I think I'm going to rewatch all the Jason Bourne stuff. You know, there's a new Netflix show with, what's his face? I forget all these people's names, all these actors' names. Gray Man on Netflix. I think I'm going to watch that maybe tonight. That looks pretty cool. It's got Chris Evans in it. And then the main dude, I can't think of his name. Yeah. Sorry. He's a famous actor. Everybody knows who he is. Andor, dope. Yeah. Oshaka, yes, very good. Like I'm a Star Wars nut, so literally anything. Like I have a Luke Skywalker and a Yoda, right there. Anything, Star Wars. Ryan Gosling, that's who it is. All right. John Shepler says, "Don't binge watch." LOL. You know what's interesting, John, is like now movies. Like I only allow myself at max one movie a day. And that's when the kids go to sleep. So I don't always get one movie a day. And more likely than not, I fall asleep. So I get a half a movie a day. Or if I'm watching a TV show, max 2 episodes a day. So, yeah. I plan out. I look forward to it at night. It's kind of something. It's like my prize for doing a full day's work. First, the proper nouns go then. I don't know what that means. I have a Bose Acoustimass 5 set and would like to buy a tube amp to go with it. Now I've seen some of your videos and I don't know where the sweet spot is, value for the money. I don't think the Acoustimass 5 is going to work with the Bose because there's 5 speakers and a subwoofer. Most tube amps are 2-channel. You could potentially use a tube amp to be somewhat of a buffer into a home theater system, but then you would have to put a source on the front of it. So I don't think a tube amp's going to fit that application. I have a Acoustimass 5 set. I love it. I haven't listened to it for a long time. But that was one of kind of my I wouldn't say it wasn't my entry into hi-fi. It was kind of like coming back into hi-fi because I was hi-fi and then I went kind of car audio. And then when I was in the Navy, I got the Acoustimass and then like I was back into it full on. Dr. No and From Russia with Love blew me away in high school. Connery. Yeah, I get it. I liked them all. And frankly, Sean Connery was kind of my least favorite Bond. I liked Roger Moore because he was like the first, like Sean Connery is right before like I started watching all the Bond movies. So I just identified James Bond with Roger Moore. And then I think Pierce Brosnan did a great job. But Daniel Craig, see, the problem is like all those old movies are almost like cartoonish with like the villains and with like the little technology and things like that. Like the Daniel Craig movies were kind of like the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, where even though it was like ridiculous, it seemed somehow plausible. It just seemed more realistic. The older movies just seemed too cartoony for me. And not saying that they're not good movies. I still enjoy them. But there's something really cool about the Daniel Craig ones. Fastest way to put me to bed: start a movie, wide awake to snoring in no time. Might just me getting old. Yeah, could be you getting old. Louis, my boy from Kentucky. Afternoon all. Randy, take a look at the Audio Engine N22 amp. $200. Built eerily similar to the LA90. Mark's used one for years. All right, Louis. Louis, my boy. We're going to pull this up right now. Audio Engine N22. All right. And we'll share. Yeah, let's see. I think there's a Class D, maybe. 22 watts times 2 into 8 ohms. Yeah. I think the topping's got a lot more juice in it. Yeah. It looks like a cool amp though, Louis. I actually had somebody mention this multiple times to me. Oh, yeah. And here we go. Brittany Marie, love the Craig movies. I've grabbed them all recently. I should get them on Ultra Blu-ray because I have a Blu-ray. Dalton looked cheesy away first, but it flopped. Dalton took cheesy away first, but it flopped. Use Sony Receiver for $60 worth it. I can't remember model number, but it's a single zone 5.1. Look at the back. If it has like spring pin connectors, probably not. If it has actual banana plugs on the back, then it might be worth picking up. And I know that's a crazy way to kind of judge it, but if they included banana plugs on the back receivers for the speakers, then it was a better home theater receiver. So that's a really easy way to kind of just glance at stuff on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. If you're not familiar with that specific one, just look on the back. And if it has all banana plugs, it was a better receiver in its day. Yeah. Louis, Class AB. Well, there you go. I'll take a look at it. Thank you. I'll grab it. That was a very quick reply. You can't reheat an old souffle. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Austin Powers for the win. Very much so. There is some MQA Tomita on title. Tomati? Tomito. How subs before you are affluent? How? What? Oh, are you talking about how many subs does it take before you're rich on YouTube? Well, I'm not rich. Dear SX, let's have a conversation. Keep coming in there. I'm interested to know what you mean by that. Pawn shop, baby. Yeah, pawn shops. Just don't put a banana in the tailpipe. Beverly Hills Cop. Love it. Banana, question mark. Banana in the tailpipe. Hey, bro, how much do you think you have to spend to get a system that can rumble a small room? Not very much at all. Buy yourself a more powerful subwoofer because they're powered by themselves, right? So if you really want to rumble a room, you can do it on the cheap if you have the right sub. And then if you get some speakers that can hit mid 80s to upper 80s dB and still kind of keep it together, or if you put a high pass filter on most speakers, even a modest bookshelf speaker with a high pass filter around 80 hertz, maybe 90 hertz, and then a subwoofer, a really beefy sub, you can shake the windows, man, and it'll be as loud as you want. As loud as you want. Hey, Adrian, J92. Have you heard that? Had a chance to listen to Sansui G6000 or similar? I would like to get one. No, but I have some friends that are really into Sansui, and from every account, they're just absolutely wonderful sounding. Wonderfully sounding. You can't. Nothing can be wonderfully sounding. Wonderful sounding. Sansui's a safe bet normally. If I would look to see if somebody actually has, or if you have some type of tech in the area, though, because so that stuff's going to need some work. I mean, you're looking at decades, 40, not 40 decades, 40 years. A banana, all of my Tesla tailpipes. All right, we're about at it. About one more minute. If you want to drop any quick questions here. Every sailor I knew in the 70s owned a lot of Sansui. Yeah, it's it'd be cool if there's a lot of them built in 77. Absolutely jump all over it if it's in decent shape. Absolutely. Just bear in mind there's an inherent risk when you get vintage gear. I think those Sansuis, though, I have seen some Sansuis going for big bucks. So yeah, if it's relatively affordable or you're interested in it, yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with the Sansui amp. Fatiguing system switch. All right. I have a friend that had Sansui, got rid of as hard to get replacement parts. Okay. Now I don't think the caps or anything like that are going to be hard to get. There may be some transistors that are difficult to match up or whatever. They're big bucks now. The stuff I had more expensive now than the original, for sure. Yeah. Most of the vintage stuff. Here's the funny thing about vintage, and then we'll wrap this up. Like stuff from Sansui, Pioneer, Marantz, especially, has significantly gone up on the vintage market, to the point where I was looking at getting some very nice pieces, and then I actually ended up getting some McIntosh vintage stuff, because the Pioneer, even Kenwood stuff, was getting so out of hand that it wasn't really that big of a value, where the used McIntosh stuff was actually a better value. So I spent a little bit more to get a Mac preamp and a power amp, but there's no doubt that I could, number one, get it worked on just about anywhere, and number two, resell it, where it just feels like the Pioneer, Kenwood, Marantz, that type of stuff seems almost volatile. Like you don't know like when the bubble is going to burst on that stuff, because they used to give it away, right? No one's ever given away McIntosh stuff if they knew what it was. So McIntosh stuff has never like been dropped off at Goodwill. Maybe if someone just had no idea what it was. But the Pioneer stuff used to be. Sansui used to be. Kenwood used to be. Marantz used to be. So yeah. Yeah. Old NA gear is nice. All right. I think we're going to call it. Yeah. So thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun. Sorry, went off on a little bit of a bird walk with some movies, but I enjoy that. And thank you for all the super chats. Your support is always very humbling for me. So I can't thank you enough. I'm going to probably have 2, if maybe 3 videos come out between now and Monday. So hope you're subscribed. Hope you have the notifications turned on. Should be a lot of fun. Some really good ideas for some videos. So I'm excited. So y'all have a great week. Thank you. Appreciate you. Love you all.